the movie I picked was called Silver Lining Playbook, and I gotta tell you,
linings, plural.
Okay.
Silver
I'm
lining.
gonna punch you out in 5 seconds.
Please do.
We're back.
We're back. So this week it would be Miss Patricia.
Yes, Miss Patricia. Okay, the movie I picked was called Silver Lining Playbook, and I gotta tell you,
Linings, plural.
okay.
Silver
I'm
lining.
gonna punch you out in 5 seconds.
Please do.
We'll get a lot of views.
I dream of you doing
We'll
that.
get a lot of views.
Don't dream, I'm good at it. Okay, Silver Linings Playbook. I gotta tell you, I avoided watching this movie for years because I didn't get the title. I know what a silver lining is, but the playbook I didn't get. It's got Bradley Cooper playing Pat, Jennifer Lawrence as Tiffany, Robert De Niro as Dad, Jackie Weaver as the mother, and Chris Tucker as the friend. Okay, so after losing his wife and his job and spending time in a mental institution, Pat ends up living at home with his parents. Pat now wants to return to a new life, to get his wife back and to, branch ahead. His father, however, De Niro, is obsessed with the Philadelphia Eagles and wants Pat to be on board with this. Then Pat meets Tiffany, and she's a widow who kind of slutty.
Sleeps around.
She sleeps around, right? And offers to help him get his wife back if he will enter in a dance contest with her. Movie is about unrecognized mental illness. That's what it's about in a family. It's I found it really clever. It was funny. I felt the family dynamics was really good because in a family you take everything as normal. Do you know what I mean? So the father's obsession with, superstitions and what you can do and you can't do.
Well, gambling in general.
Yeah. Is a big deal. So when I did watch it, I was so surprised. I didn't think I'd like it, but I loved it. I loved it because I thought it was so clever how crazy Jennifer Lawrence was and how crazy he was, but he was the least crazy of the two of them. And you really see a lot of mental illness. Robert De Niro, mental illness. The wife, enabler.
Al-Anon.
Yeah, Al-Anon, right. And so Chris Tucker just...
Untreated Al-Anon.
Untreated Al-Anon. Yeah. And Chris Tucker is just he's not got a big part, but he is that friend, also from a mental institution, who's just got a whole look at life that's really refreshing. So I got to tell you, I really liked it. I don't want to tell you the ending, which I usually do.
Okay, leave that to Lon.
Yeah, you tell a lot.
I never tell the endings. So.
Well, I usually do.
I just tell a lot of plot.
But it's the sweetest ending. I love the ending. I thought it was very sweet. And it hit all the markers I like in an emotional ending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. Because I think that's the whole crux, is the ending is why people would like this film. I'm not a big David O. Russell. I think we mentioned this. In fact, that's why you actually wanted to see this was because
he did Amsterdam, the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. How could he also do such a great movie? Yeah,
well, see, I see this movie almost as like Amsterdam.
No,
I cannot fault any of the performances. I think they're all fine. The characters are fine. It's just that I don't identify with any of these people. And you're right.
Good. That's good, Vlad.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Because
healthy.
that I'll say this, because that's the thing about, like you said, about the Bradley Cooper and the Jennifer Lawrence characters. You're right. These are two mentally screwed up characters.
Right.
I have no idea why as much, because when I watched the movie, I thought, okay, she's recently widowed, and then she had to go through a thing that lost her job because of being widowed, is what I'm assuming, right? Bradley Cooper, same thing. I see why he's obsessed about, okay, I just want to make my life better. In fact, I like that idea, right? It's sort of like watching The Beautiful Game again. It's like, I have to get my life together, so I know what I have to do. I have to focus on this and this and this, which he does, right? But the thing is, he's so obsessed about getting his wife back, right? Yeah. So it's like, oh, okay. So to me, actually, the two characters I really did enjoy watching was the Robert De Niro and Jackie Weaver characters
They were
who
good.
played Bradley Cooper's parents. I was sort of amazed by their behavior because you're right that Robert De Niro, he wants his son to get better, but he's all business.
Yeah.
So it comes down to his betting and his rituals, and he believes in the lucky streak. So if something happens, you stick with it. She really believes in the programs and everything. Says, no, I cannot do that. I can do this. I can do it. But she really does support him. You know, she really
wife?
wants it. No, his
mother.
His mother.
Robert De Niro's wife in the movie.
Jackie Weaver's character.
That's his wife, right?
Yeah.
That's his
Oh,
De
No,
Niro's
Robert
wife.
De Niro's wife. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's
Bradley
like,
Cooper's mother.
but I just sort of cracked out. It's like, okay, I like that with her. So these characters are really rich with dimension.
Yeah.
And they're really, how would I put it? They're more important to me in the story than the two main leads because what you're seeing is between the interaction, because ultimately, in my opinion, it is a romantic comedy, basically with Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper playing two extremely wounded animals who have to try to get through life and sort of rebuild their lives in a way. And their parents basically looking down on both of them for not, it's like, your lives are screwed up. You just ruined them.
You don't like
Do we ever see her parents?
Oh, yes. Remember? They completely are judgmental about her behavior.
Yeah.
Where did I'm trying to remember. Who
Oh, yeah. You
When
see
the
their
guy
parents?
comes to meet
So he's
her
in the back of their house, and then some guy comes to knock on the door.
to
and
the door, the
Oh,
parents.
they actually, they interview everyone who wants to see her. Oh, who are you?
Oh, yeah.
because she
Something like that,
sleeps
yeah.
with everybody. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, again, that was sort of what happened when she lost her husband. She
Right.
thought, oh, I need something to fulfill my life, and that's what she had to do, which actually cost her job.
Right.
So you don't know this, but as it comes out and things are revealed, then it's like, okay, this is interesting. But for me, it's like, no, it's not really that interesting. I'm not getting this. I'm not getting anything. The only character I sort of want to know was his brother, who's hardly in it that much, but he always talks about his brother and how his brother's sort of like normal, and he's the one who really supports him in a way.
Right.
It said, oh, I'm sorry I never came to visit you, but, right? One of those things that, okay, so much for this family right here. So much for her family in a way. So it came down to his best friend who married Jennifer Lawrence's sister.
Right. Yeah.
That's the other couple I thought was sort of
They
interesting
were
because
funny.
they're like the normal couple.
And they're so fucked up.
Well, that's the thing. They tell you what's wrong with them, and yet you don't have to tell me. We see it. You
Yes.
actually see it. You know what's wrong with them, but they are sort of honest about it. This couple is what I call the typical couple who's just like, oh, this is how it's supposed to be. You make sure everything looks perfect. They're not perfect.
No, and
they're
they're
not
fucked up.
this.
They're really fucked up.
exactly. You can almost see it. Yet they're going to survive. Their marriage is going to stay intact. They're going to have kids, whatever, because that's in their mentality. That's what they have to do.
And that's what
These are two
normal.
characters that have no idea about exactly what they're supposed to do. So my problem only came down to, it's like, well, so again, I'm sort of confused. I don't get who I'm supposed to identify with in this movie because I don't identify with anyone in this
Well,
movie.
maybe you're supposed to be an observer.
And that's the thing. That's what David O. Russell movies are about. It's all about observing people who are, I would say, mentally wounded in a way, or something that they have a problem. How do they get through it? And my thing is, I can never identify with these people. I understand what they're going through. I'm seeing what they're going through. I'm even seeing their behavior. So my thing is like, this is what's so frustrating for me. And I have to admit, I tried to watch this movie once and I couldn't get through it. I just thought it was boring. So then when we did this when Patty picked it, it's like you had mentioned, remember how you're going to pick it after Amsterdam with that. He did that movie? That's a good movie. So I thought, you know what, that's going to force me to watch the entire movie. And I thought, okay, you know what? I will give you this. I did think Jennifer Lawrence's character was the most interesting character, I think, in the movie because of what she does. And I do mean that. It's what she actually does in the movie. She is manipulative. She's not being quite honest, but she has sort of a purity, I think, in her character, which no one else seems to have in this
Yeah, that's
With
true.
the exception of Bradley Cooper, I think he comes up to it, but he keeps withdrawing because you can tell all he wants to get is with his wife. So anyone tells him she's gone, forget about her, he withdraws. So it's like, wow, this is really sort of fascinating psychologically. And like I said, this is what David O. Russell, I think, does. So I can never understand why I don't like his movies as much. But I will say this. I thought, you know what? For what was up on the screen, it's entertaining enough. So I can see this. It is dysfunctional. If you like that kind of stuff, watch this movie. I just know when Jennifer Lawrence won, I think she was 21 or 22 when she won the Oscar
22.
for Best Actress. And I always sort of resented her because I always wanted to see that. I think her name is Kuvejane Wallace for Beasts of the Southern Wild.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was such a fantastic movie, and that performance was so above everything else that
sorry.
year.
This was
You know.
nothing. She was way better in this
And then
movie
I
than
will
that.
say that Emmanuel Riva in Amor, who played the one who is going through Alzheimer's, I thought her performance was better. So that's why I always sort of resented watching this movie because I thought, I've seen better performances, I've seen this. Yet, I cannot deny that this time when I was forced to watch it, I did watch it to beginning to end. And you know what? And you're right. I think the ending really sort of justifies watching this entire movie. So
That's why we sent it to Tomá también, because it took it from Red Violin.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the movie I watched.
I actually had no interest in seeing this movie for the longest time. I thought it was about two crazy people in psychiatry.
exactly.
and
Me
everything.
too. No, me too.
And
yeah.
so, okay, I watched it, and then, but no, I actually really enjoyed it. The first thing was that Bradley Cooper just kept annoying me. Like I wanted to punch him. I found him so annoying. And then I find out that he's crazy. He's bipolar. So then it makes sense. Then okay, now I can forgive him because he's just so obsessive. You tell him something. No. This guy, he just doesn't listen.
No, I still think you should punch him out.
Yeah, it's just so
He needs
annoying.
it.
It was so annoying. That's like okay. You're a really good actor. I'm just so annoyed by you.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
The character that I really liked, funny enough, it was Robert De Niro in the movie.
He was great.
Oh
just
my
thought that-
God! See, I found him
His
completely
personality.
annoying, too.
It's just
Like,
funny. His personality is so funny because he's such a classic football fan and better and everything. And everything is his whole world is football. You see, there's people like that's the whole world, and because he bets. And so superstitious that he's got his hanky and
Well,
everything.
exactly. That's the problem. The superstitious is
That level, and then people, you see people do that. They wear the sock, So, and actually, I really like Chris Tucker too, but he has a very short part in it.
he does.
But I always like Chris Tucker in movies. He's just such a
He
great
has a
character.
wonderful role because that's a Chris Tucker I've never seen before. He played it not really broad. He played it
and
really
then in
close.
Air,
serious.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was really sort of a reality.
shows
bit.
as an actor.
Reminded
Yeah,
me
exactly,
of my movie Air.
Yeah, exactly,
He played
yes.
a more serious
Very
character,
much so,
but he's
yes.
still very likable. He's such a likable
Yeah.
person. Also, I was thinking that Bradley Cooper, his character has no filter. So when his friend is telling him about his marriage, don't tell this guy this stuff. This guy has no filter. Then everybody's gonna hear about it. So I wonder if the Silver Linings Playbook title also has to do with playbook, like football playbook.
It is. That's
No,
what
because they play
finally they
football.
came to.
But the silver linings
Yeah.
being
Well, Silver Linings is but also the playbook.
exactly.
I thought it was interesting that a lot of small towns have that too. Well, not small town Philadelphia, but football fans. How like even his psychiatrist is at the football game.
Yes,
They're like
he
they're
was a great
such
character.
football fans.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's just so I just knew that Jennifer Lawrence. I wanted to ask her for this movie. I just had no interest about the. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm surprised. I actually really liked it.
All the things you're saying, it has to do with like why I have grown to like David O. Russell's movies, because I did not like Flirting with Disaster, which was not his first movie, but his first big hit. Spanking the Monkey was his first movie. I didn't care for that one at all. But what I realized with this film was he makes movies about people everybody else avoids.
Yeah.
He makes movies about people that you're gonna be uncomfortable watching their story, and he gives you insights to them. You may not like the people, you may not love the people, but you're getting insights to them. And I think that in this particular film, everybody is so perfect in terms of what they're doing on the screen. I mean, when Bradley Cooper starts coming up in the middle of the night and doing the. I think it's like on Hemingway.
Right.
He's doing the rant. And he wakes his parents up in the
3
middle of the
or
night.
4
Saying,
o'clock in the
this is
morning.
supposed to be a great book. This is a piece of shit. How could he do this? He has the guy go off to war, and then she dies. It's like you're going through the whole thing, and like you're going like, why would anybody be interested in you talking about this at 4 o'clock in the morning? And the parents are, they know how screwy he is because they're as equally as crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like showing you the groundwork.
Oh, see, I disagree. I think the father is. I don't think the mother's equally as crazy, personally.
She's supporting him.
Al-Anon.
It's called an untreated Al-Anon. She's supporting him. She's as bad off. She might be the worst off of anybody in the movie because she's trying to make things. She's not living under the illusion that she can make things better. She can't.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else up there, that what they're doing is they're all following their dreams. And David O. Russell is saying, you may not think that that's a worthwhile dream, but to those people that I'm putting on the screen, it's life and death.
Right.
And that's why he's interested in it. That's why I'm interested in seeing. I understand the guy's a really unpleasant guy to work with, but I'm not working with him. I don't have to deal with that.
Right.
I like his movies. I like what he does. It was also the film he did after this, which was the
I Heart Huckabees?
No, it was American Hustle.
American Hustle.
American Hustle.
Oh, I like that.
Same thing. I love that movie too. And it's the same thing. The characters who are so screwed up that they have no choice but to behave in the way they behave on the screen.
Right.
Given who the characters are, and everybody in this movie played it. When Jennifer Lawrence walked on the screen in this movie, I almost fainted. She comes in sort of in the background, and all of a sudden I said, "There's a presence here. There's a presence on this screen." Yeah. And she is amazing.
See, obviously, a lot
was.
of people agree with you because I was so shocked she won the Oscar for that year. So.
Well, the Oscars are politics. I mean,
no, not in that case. I'm sorry. Here's a young girl who has no one.
She was being pushed back then as the next big.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And see, I didn't see that. So
okay, but that's what was going on. She was being pushed as the next big thing, and as far as I'm concerned, this was like just propinquity or what serendipity. She deserved it. She was great. Not to take anything away from Quvenzhané Wallis, although I haven't really cared much for anything I've seen her do since then. Not that she's been given a chance to do that much. And who was the other person you mentioned? Oh, the woman from Amour.
Emmanuel Riva, from Amour.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
Who's just a veteran actress.
Yeah.
Hiroshima
Mon Amour. So.
So, Susie?
No.
Have you finished?
Have you finished?
No.
I know.
I don't think so. I'm not sure whether I am or not.
Okay.
But I'm just responding to that. But it's just like, I mean, to me, De Niro's character, he captured gamblers.
Yeah.
I know these gamblers. I've seen these guys. And it's like when she's saying, oh, wait a minute. You think I fucked him up? How about this? This happened since I came into the picture.
Right.
This happened since I came into the picture. And Bradley
You
Cooper
talk
saying,
gambler talk.
Bradley Cooper saying, like, shut up, you're making things worse. And De Niro goes, no, wait a minute, I got to think about this. And I mean, that was like one of the most brilliant moments I've ever seen.
That actually
on
is
screen.
one. I think that's the best scene in the entire movie.
I agree.
Was her confronting with
She
what
talked to
she
him
had
like
said.
a
No, not her.
Exactly.
Him.
Well,
Going
both-
No,
later.
I'm talking about her.
When
When she
Yeah,
actually
she did
states.
that, yeah.
Oh, by
Yeah,
the
that's
way,
in the writing as
Right.
well.
When
Exactly,
Jennifer Lawrence
yeah.
talks to De Niro and tells him about.
I know what
But
she's saying,
that's
but
okay.
I thought he was great in it.
Oh, well,
I
no.
They
know.
both,
they were both great.
both were so real.
That scene
They
was a
both
good
were
scene.
so
That was a
on
really
the
good
money
scene.
with that.
Yeah.
It was it's like, and what's his name? Paul Herman, I think, was the guy's name who played De Niro's pal.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
He was.
yes.
I mean,
He was good,
He's
yes.
done a lot of Scorsese
Yeah.
stuff too.
Yeah.
He was great. Everybody in that movie was so exactly right
Yeah.
for what they were doing, and the movie just. I mean, I just went from being I don't like this guy's movies to being a huge fan of his movies from that point on.
Okay.
I don't like that tone. What that is.
Let's give her a chance to talk.
Well, I'm just going like, really, all families are crazy. Really.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I completely
The
agree.
dynamics within a
Forget
family.
about a
That's-
functional family. It's all dysfunctional.
Who are they?
In this movie, I thought that Bradley Cooper's character was really crazy. He was bipolar. He really was. I thought she was just going through grief. I didn't feel
Maybe.
I didn't feel like she was a.
Actually, I thought the same thing, which I didn't say, which there was that I thought he was nuts crazy. She was just so quirky that her quirky, almost crazy him.
Yeah.
Her quirkiness.
It's hard to tell which one.
She was
was
just
more
going for
crazy.
what she wanted.
Yeah.
She was going for what she thought. This is how I have to survive.
Well, I've seen that reaction a lot of times to death. I've
Yeah.
seen that reaction where people do that.
You just start sleeping. with
Especially
everybody.
women. I've
Yeah.
seen that a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm that doesn't I didn't think she
Also
was
because one is death and the other one ultimately creates life. It's the opposite.
Yes, yes.
Oh, I
It's-
never thought
yes,
about that.
It's the opposite of death.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, wow.
So
You're
I've
breaking life.
seen that
I
a
thought
lot.
she was crazier. I gotta say.
Yeah, I didn't see her as crazy. That's
In that
really.
in that group, she was the least crazy of
Well,
anybody
no,
in that
this-
movie.
this
I saw her
is-
pretty crazy. I saw her pretty crazy.
But not being kind of an East Coast American
right.
person, which I thought that was a very East Coast American, like a Pennsylvania, New York,
Yeah.
kind of maybe Boston kind of thing. But it did remind me of the movie. Do you remember? It was like I think it was Dan Aykroyd. They kidnapped a basketball player, the
Oh,
Celtics.
yes.
The
And
Celtics,
what
yeah.
was
Right.
funny was that they all remember the fans that like you had to sit in the same spot or they were
Right.
going to lose.
Right.
That was De
What
Niro,
is this
right?
movie?
It was like
I'll check it
And-
out.
and-
They
who
kidnapped a
was-
Celtic player.
Yeah.
Boston Celtics.
yeah, and the fans were like kind of like, but you didn't sit in your right seat, and so like that's why
That's
they
why it
lost.
happened.
And that was so reminded me of Robert De Niro in this, that he delivered that line so well, like. Yeah, let me think about that because I know myself being kind of superstitious. I might, that's true.
Give you a double
right,
thought.
and he said it so believably.
Yeah.
I believed him, right? I've lost my notes, but I personally I was not looking forward to seeing this movie because I dislike, as actors, not as people. But
Right.
I would say in order of dislike would be Jennifer Lawrence, Bradley Cooper, and then my big favorite is Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
I find like they need to belong to the overacting club. I'm
Right.
exhausted watching them.
Well, they're in
work.
everything.
I'm exhausted watching them work. You
See,
know
I
what I mean?
that's the kind of thing where I don't mind if it's appropriate to the movie. So that's the only thing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Judd Apatow.
One
What was the
tequila.
movie
and
called?
look at well,
So what was that movie
mezcal,
called
that's
with
good.
that? Do you find
Well,
out?
Celtic Pride.
Oh, yes.
Celtic Pride.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so-
the father is obviously a compulsive gambler, but he's also a bookie. So
Right.
Well, that's the thing. See, that's what I thought was. See, that's kind of stuff that I like in that he lost his job, so then he becomes a bookie to make money.
And
I
he's-
thought,
and he makes a
how
killing.
That's so good. I
Yeah,
like that.
he makes a
he has to
killing.
do that, even though it's illegal. He's going to do that. Yeah.
even though you say the mother is, I found her great. I think that's a very mother thing to do,
Right.
a way of looking at things. They don't look at themselves as enablers. They look at themselves
Keeping
as
the family together.
keeping the
But
family
even-
together
Right.
and working with the crazy people
But
in
even the
their
police
family.
officer,
He
shows
he was a great character. I do
it
love
was
him. Yeah.
the police officer.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
was
God,
assigned
yes.
to watch him.
Yes.
But also when he shows up at the house, Robert De Niro's talking to him like, "Hey, are you gonna do this and that?" And he's about the like they know him because
No, exactly. He's part of the.
it's almost like, are
he's-
you gonna
no,
bet on the
yeah.
game or what or something like that,
Right.
to the police officer because he
Well,
knows him.
Another part, like we were discussing an earlier movie,
Right.
one thing that it just kind of grabbed me at the end and I loved, it was the kind of thing of they're going to go in this dance contest, right? And the point that, again, the question,
Winning.
what is winning?
Yeah.
Winning to them
That also
was
might be a
something.
spoiler.
It's getting
I
5 points.
didn't say
got a
what it was.
five.
I didn't say it. But yes, exactly. It's like, that's not going to mean anything to anybody unless they saw it,
Right.
right?
See it.
Right? But
Parlay.
it was kind of
Apparently.
like
I have to Google it, so now I know what it is. But somebody explains it.
I love basically by focusing on something, a goal. It made those two not crazy,
Right.
right?
That's
and
true.
so that was,
But see, that's the funny part because it not only made them not crazy, but it made everybody root for them because of that.
Yes,
right?
yes.
That's the weird part of the
Yes.
movie for me.
well, I think
Well, also, I think in terms of the two characters of Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper, they feel that they failed. And then the other people are coming saying, no, you didn't fail. You gave us exactly what we needed.
Yeah, well, they
5
knew it.
points.
They knew what they needed. They knew they needed to
Right.
get
Yeah, that's
what
when
they
they
needed to
actually
get.
get enjoy once they get the score.
But it was
Right,
just so funny because everybody around them is also looking like, are they
What the
nuts?
hell? 5
Are
points?
you nuts? No, you're not nuts. You're just different with different goals.
Right.
And I think
Are
that
you nuts? Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Which is why
They're apologizing to them when they come up and say, "Are you kidding? You got a 5."
well, I'm talking about the judges. They're like,
Even the other
Yeah.
dancers
That's-
are looking at them like
I never got nobody
10
ever
is supposed to be the big number.
Nobody ever got like, excited about a 5
Five,
people.
exactly.
It was kind of like everybody, the society that they were in
Right.
didn't understand them. And I
Yes.
think, and they were and their people understood them because
Right.
and I think that's really true. Like if you told me you were going to go be at a play, we would go to that play and we would
Love
be,
it.
we would, yes, we would be supportive of. That's
But that
kind
would be
of-
because I'm great in the play.
I know that.
Of course.
But even if you weren't, we would
Yeah.
go to the play and we would find something nice to say.
Yes.
Right?
Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that to me.
No.
Nice play. Great play. But that's what I mean. It's like you go and anybody that you support, support them. And I just loved at the end. It's like one of the other movies we did, which was The Beautiful Game, your movie, was the same thing. It's like, what is winning?
Mm-hmm.
What is winning? Winning is really important. It's like, but you define what winning is. Don't let the world around you describe.
Right.
So that's why I
a
like
10 is not winning at that competition.
Not
to get
for
a
them,
5
not for
was
them.
a winning
well, a
competition.
10 would change their life too much.
There's no way in hell they're getting a 10.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like you want to be a multimillionaire. Nah, you have to worry about it too much. A millionaire might be okay. Yeah, nobody really notices.
Not anymore. I don't. Oh, I score. Oh,
So
I start. Do I start?
No,
No,
it's your movie.
I gave it a 6.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, it's entertaining. I'll give it an 8 entertaining.
Wow.
I'll give it a 8 also.
I give it a 10.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah,
course you
I
would.
would waver also that the ending
I give it a 10.
was so possible, was so possibly, the uplifting.
No, it's a feel-good movie, definitely, which is really surprising.
But it's feel good, not in a
For a depressing
stupid
movie.
way.
No, just for him.
The
David
it,
O. Russell.
it stays true to the people,
Yeah.
like that jump she does. Remember at the very end?
What do you mean the jump?
You remember
jump
The
on
last
that's
part
at
of
the
the
thing.
thing is where she's doing kind of
Okay.
like the dirty dancing,
Right,
where
yeah.
she runs and he
But she
picks
misses
her up.
it.
That's
It's so funny. Yeah.
See, it's funny. I didn't find it hysterical. I just thought, oh, okay, yeah. I just thought, oh, that's their level, right?
Right.
That
Exactly.
was their level.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's interesting because it's hard for me to remember what my response to that jump was when I saw it the first time. But since I knew what happened the second time, I was into what was going on. But yeah, it's a wonderful movie.
It was hysterical because they went for it.
accomplished it.
They
Yeah,
went for it.
Yeah.
You didn't do it, but they went for it.
Yeah. And that's the important
And
thing.
that's the important thing. Yeah. So that ends our
70th.
episode 70. Time to get on with the festivities.
There's a lot of movies.
We'll see you next time. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.